I've got a hot take on Ohio.
I'm listening.
I don't know. I think I've got as much information as like a person who watches the internet and television can glean from what little they've given us. Everybody's like, can you believe they're not doing anything? I saw this post. They were like, in a communist society, when Chernobyl happened, they did this for everyone in the blast area. And it's like, you know, they paid their medical bills for life. They put them in new housing somewhere else, X, Y, and Z. And it's like, yeah, well, the alternative was instant death or immediate death, more or less. And then they're like, what have they done in Ohio? $5 per resident. So, all right, first of all, we're 3 days into the disaster in Ohio. Second of all, they is the railroad company. And like how are you making this a communist argument? Like Reddit is just so fucking disgusting. Sometimes I got to try to stay away from it. Like some of the retardation there. I think it's Chinese bots just trying to make me mad anyway. There's no American that dumb, and we have terrible education systems.
There's lots of that dumb.
All of that being said,
we both know American that dumb.
Here's I always focus on. I talked last week about how that article in Missouri where they moved 2 words around and made the article completely different because they were like, now they're going to let 14-year-olds carry guns in public. No, they're not. They're going to continue to allow 14-year-olds to carry hunting rifles on public hunting lands. Completely different things. They're trying to lie to you with
propaganda.
So when I see every single post about this thing, mention the dead livestock, and then stop there. Full stop. Dead livestock. Move along. All right. Well, show me the cows dead in the fields. Show me the hundreds of dead cattle. Show me the dairy farms where the milk has to be thrown out. Show me the foxes. Show me the entire ecosystem that's dying. What did they show me? They showed me 4 chickens in a fucking cage that somehow died. Okay, I'll believe you. Some fumes got it, killed it from this. Show me some fish in a pond. How many dead fish did I see? 4 tops, right? Like, hell, that's a day of fishing, and I throw them in there, and I clip it real quick, and now I've got the only proof of dead fish on the internet.
No, I will add to the dead fish thing. Like, I watched a couple clips that just happened to come across my feed. Like, it was not being like, look, a dead fish. This is fucking Biden's America. It was literally like, here's a dead fish. Here's a dead fish. Here's a dead fish. Under this bridge here, there's hundreds of dead fish. I watched a clip today of someone be like, they're like taking a video of the water in one of the creeks, and they throw a rock into it. They're like, it looks pretty normal, doesn't it? They throw a rock into it, and immediately, you know, the look of gasoline, the multicolor look, lumen, like, and it immediately refracts light and turns multicolor. The whole thing is multicolor. Like
that, I saw.
Like I think this is
too.
Like,
I want to comment
not
on
ideal.
I saw that too, and for all I know, it's real. But I don't know it's real. It is so easy to go on the internet and see this picture of a storm system, and they're like, this is next week's hurricane.
Yeah.
Bullshit. That picture's 7 years old. I've seen it before. It's so easy to go on the internet and say, like, look at this survivor of a building. That is not the earthquake that just happened. That is from 7 years
scary
ago.
Cloud.
Beirut or whatever. Scary cloud. Whatever. So when I saw this woman throw a rock into a polluted river, might be true. But I'm watching a Project Veritas shit to be like, that guy didn't even work there. That guy, you're acting like a pimp and a hoe went to this office when really you've clipped together 2 different videos, one taken in your own office, the other taken at the Planned Parenthood, and the answers aren't even the questions that you're splicing in there, right?
Yeah,
so I just don't know what to make of internet proof. I saw pictures during people were putting, I'm almost done. People were putting bricks all over like BLM riots. You know, oh, look at these bricks the government supplied. Meanwhile, those fucking brick pictures are from like 6 months before the BLM riots and completely unrelated. They're not arming rioters with bricks. That's just for, you know, people to buy into. So anyway, I don't know how to verify all this proof. I'm just always suspicious now because somebody's constantly trying to lie.
It's true.
There's not enough like evidence.
We do know that what is burning is tremendously toxic.
Yeah, but they're burning it, so now it's something different.
Yeah, burning it apparently isn't like making it just harmless campfire smoke. Like
no,
it's still.
I mean the thing you probably saw Asian Science Man say was like, when you burn the vinyl chloride. Which is an ingredient in PVC, which is what all our pipes are made out of, right? When you burn it, it makes another chemical, and that combines with water vapor in the air and creates acid. Well, nobody's talking about acid. Nobody said anything about acid. They're like, oh, we're poisoned. I saw a kid. This lady was like, his eyes turned red and he started coughing and we knew we had to leave. And it's just like, look, I want to feel sorry for these people. They've been poisoned. I hope they get every fucking dime. I hate when that shit happens. I'm all for that Aaron Brockovich, get them all kind of thing. I love when a big company pays through the teeth. But I see both sides trying to politicize this thing, and I see no evidence that anything has actually happened other than there was a big old smoky fire.
Yeah, well, so the director, Zach here, who is a better post than most Reddit pictures, a better source than most Reddit pictures. Mary Mintz, the director of Ohio's Department of Natural Resources, said on Tuesday that an estimated 3,500 fish have been found dead in local waterways.
Nothing.
That's right where I was headed when I read it.
That's very little.
Fish. Is that a lot?
No, that's like nothing. But that's also one of those things where they mete out how extreme things are sometimes.
Well,
where they go,
found fish might be indicative of 35,000 unfound fish. I'm making this up.
I'm sure it is, but also like, how when these things happen, there's like always trickle truth, where initially when this train derailment happened, it was like, I saw an article from the New York Times, and this was after days of like largely not being discussed in the media. And the op-ed was like, concerns are growing over the potential health impact of the uncured polychloride or whatever the fuck burning. And it's like, and then a little bit later, they release articles that are like, new evidence supports this. Some animals are getting sick. Like, before you know it, they'll be releasing stuff that's like, it's so much worse than we thought. Like, that's totally possible.
Whose fault
this kind of stuff happens all the time. I don't know. Apparently, train derailments happen all the fucking time. It's just we're talking about this one because it's so bad and it caused a big chemical problem.
That's
like I think our railways are actually kind of dog shit.
I want to answer the question too before you go, Kyle.
Yeah.
Taylor said there were train derailments all the time. That makes me wonder. I have seen like 3 or 4 more train derailment stories since this one, and I'm like, is this normal and we just don't normally talk about it, or is something wild happening here where these trains can't stay on the tracks?
Yeah, I don't know. But
they make those train derailers that you can just buy, right? And you can throw it in a backpack.
That's horrifying.
Yeah, I love that. There's that great post you see every now and then on Reddit, and they're like, something about gun control is irrelevant as long as the 305 train from Boston travels at 194 kilometers down the L pipe. And you can fit a train derailleur in a basic human backpack. And then he's got a picture of it on the tracks. And a train derailleur basically guides the train right off the tracks. It derails a train.
That's a threat to people like Chiz. I don't like that. We need to take that seriously.
People like Chiz.
Yeah,
that's
train
terrific.
people.
Yeah, if you're trying to pull one of those, that was the whole premise in Unbreakable, right? The whole train derailment thing. Well, I saw the multiple train derailments too. I don't know. None of them. It's weird that things like that pop up. I think the news media becomes hyper focused on anything like that, and I don't know. I didn't. In the other train derailments, here's the thing about like internet evidence. I would just see an image, and then they were like, "This truck fell over and nitric acid spilled out," and I've got 8 seconds of video on that from a guy's car, and it's like, did it? Because it looks like a yellow smoke bomb to me. Like, are y'all just? Is any of this real? Am I in the fucking simulation? Like, there's not
you wanted to ask
evidence.
Whose fault it was.
Yeah. Oh,
like a damn conductor.
Do you have an answer?
No, we.
I don't know.
I don't know. I've seen 2 things. Here's what I've seen. I heard that like the Trump administration lowered regulations having to do with better brakes on trains carrying hazardous materials. And then I heard the Biden administration came in and there were a host of Trump rules like that they rolled back, but not that one. So it's hard to blame Trump alone when the Biden administration kind of in a backwards way approved it. Like, if that makes sense.
It's probably just that our rail system sucks and is old. Like,
I'm sure that
kind of falling
contributed
apart.
to it.
Caused it?
What caused this one? All right. So I heard a report where they said that. Well, they said that one of the what do you call like each individual wheel on a train?
A tie?
Like each
a railroad
there was a wheel
tie?
on the train, a wheel. On fire as it was like approaching the area, and I guess the suggestion was that maybe the brake was locked down on that part of it. It continued to overheat until it completely failed, and then you got a derailment caused by something like that.
We need to use nicer trains for the dangerous stuff. Like if we need to ship saltines, throw it on a dangerous, like an old train. It really doesn't fucking matter. But this stuff, we should have at least a couple nice new trains.
I disagree. Did you see that? I don't know why Zach doesn't show the good pictures.
No, you're right. When you're right, you're right, Kyle.
Did you see that picture that was from an airliner looking down at the cloud? And it looked like Saruman was down there, like getting some darkness cooked up.
Tens of thousands.
Dude, if that had happened near where one of those satanic abortion rituals was being conducted, Woody would start believing.
I think I'd have to start believing.
Like that looks cool. Like I'm not sure this hasn't been doctored in some way or another, because when I look at it, the blacks are all smushed. Like if I look in the trees, it's like, why is it so black in the middle of that tree? It's like, you've made sure the blacks pop here. It doesn't matter in this shot, but in the previous shot to make it more ominous, I was thinking. But yeah, this is pretty wild. You know, they
suck to live there.
For a while they had those containers cooking, you know, in the flames of ruptured containers. So they blew them up. They placed charges and blew holes in them to immediately
to safely release the chemicals into the atmosphere.
The atmosphere. To scientists like me, we call it nature's dumpster.
Yeah, we call it
from which you came,
garbage disposal. You send the evil chemicals up into the sky. God takes care of it, and we're good. That's how this. Like I'm no genius, but when I hear that a train car with dangerous chemicals is spewing stuff into the atmosphere, my plan isn't, well, it's gonna happen eventually. Blow the rest of them up. Like,
Taylor, that's where you're wrong. Eventually, this is where stars come from.
Eventually, this will congeal and we'll have a second moon, a glowing moon.
It was Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Better tides. Yeah.
When if you keep going. So yeah, I got no problem with any of this. I don't know. Maybe I'd feel differently with my back.
This is fine.
Hey, you know what? To each their own is my.
I just think it's being blown out of proportion. It's like, who cares? Like,
I don't think so.
I feel like one of these happens every weekend